Hey there. This is a product management interview question and answer, asked by me and answered by me. In this session, I'll be trying to recreate what an actual PM interview might be like, where I'll be going through the answer myself, I won't be cutting this video, and I'll be trying to take notes and give normal amount of pausing to give you a sense of how I answer these PM interview questions. Now, realize that I haven't prepared this interview question beforehand, so I'll be doing it live, and I'll be trying to figure it out on camera so that you can get a great inside look. I hope you enjoy. Great. So I understand we need to develop a high-tech gymnasium. I'm going to take a few moments to think about what this might look like and to come up with some ideas and answers. So I have a few questions first for the interviewer. I have two questions specifically. Are we thinking of gymnasiums as a physical location, or are we thinking them broader than that? The interviewer responds that we are thinking of them as physical locations. And my second question is, are we targeting a specific demographic with this gymnasium? Are we thinking of specific types of gymnasiums? I know there's a lot from like kind of the Equinox to Planet Fitness and Gold Gym, a lot of different kinds. Are we in a certain market? And the interviewer in this case responds that there is not a specific market. Okay, great. Thanks for those questions. I'm going to go ahead and start thinking about this problem. So before I jump in, the way I'm going to kind of think about this problem is I'm first going to think a little bit about gymnasiums and what they are and kind of where the potential is. Then I'm going to kind of segment the users. And then I'd like to talk about some use cases for those users and the user segment that we're really interested in going forward with. And then I'll come up with some brainstorms for that. Does that sound okay? Great. So gymnasiums are places where people try to get fit. And that can mean a lot of different things. It can be losing weight, it can be gaining muscle, or it can be stretching, or maybe taking classes. But at the end of the day, people are interested in enhancing their body in some way, or increasing the performance of their body. That's a good thing to keep in mind. It's a physical location as bounded by this question that users come to. They have this kind of they have a set regimen maybe, or they spend some amount of time there to get fit. They maybe come about 3 times a week, but some less serious ones come 3 times a month, and some people just never come at all. So it's important to note that motivation is kind of an issue here. I'm noticing just kind of thinking about gymnasiums. Cool, so I'm just going to write some of this down as I talk. Nothing kind of crazy, but now that we've kind of discussed gymnasiums, I'd like to talk a little bit about what the users of gyms look like. So I would say that there's kind of a few key types. We have the power users, and for the purpose of this question, I'm going to think about it domestically. By the way, I'm thinking about the U.S. market. So we have power users, and power users are those who just go to the gym every day, pretty much, or they're taking the whey protein and all those kinds of supplements. They're really gung-ho about gymnasiums. We have the casual gym goer. The casual gym goer is someone who maybe goes a quote-unquote normal amount, so maybe twice a week or 3 times a week to the gym, works out, tries to stay in good shape. In this case, their fitness goals are different. Their fitness goals are more about how can we keep up my body maybe, or make some small progress over a large period of time. Whereas that power user is really focused on defining their body really great, hitting some kind of athletic goal. Maybe they're CrossFit users, things like that. And then, so I have 2 more that I want to talk about. Third is the class goers. So there's a lot of people who go to classes. The class pass is really popular amongst them, and they want to go to different experiences. The socialness of it is really important to them, having those people with them and an instructor, kind of a guided curriculum almost. It's interesting talking about this segment because I'm just kind of imagining, well, how can we make the gym more like a class without actually having the need for that instructor there? So there's some potential there. And then the fourth one that I'd like to talk about is the person who never goes to the gym but buys a gym subscription. So these are people who maybe they don't even buy the subscription, but they are no-shows. They do not go to the gym and they have trouble getting in shape or hitting their fitness goals. And this is an interesting market because here it's just motivation that we're talking about. So great. So we've defined a few set of users. I would like to go forward with the no-shows. I know we talked about the class having kind of potential there and kind of getting more people into the class environment, but I think that there's huge potential with the no-shows. They're basically expanding the total addressable market that this product can serve. And if we can carve out a new niche of people who wouldn't have otherwise gone to the gym, but now are going to our gym, that's great for us. And we now have a community that we don't have to kind of steal market share from other gym competitors here. So let's think about kind of what do no-shows need, or what are their use cases here? Their use cases is that they buy the gym subscription and they don't come. So, maybe use cases isn't even the right way to think about it. It's just kind of the main pain point that we want here, the main pain point that we're thinking about here is we want these people to go to the gym. How can we get them to go to the gym and retain? Maybe it's easy to get them to go for the first few times, but after that, it's really hard to get them to go repeatedly and on a regular regimen. So I'm going to do some brainstorming now to kind of come up with some ideas. I'm going to take maybe 30 seconds or so just to think of it, and then I'll discuss with you. Okay, cool. So I came up with two main ideas. There are a lot of interesting ideas. So, one kind of principle I'm thinking about here is you can kind of prod users or you can give them a carrot, kind of the horse and carrot analogy. So one way you could force users is coming up with a payment or pricing plan that kind of punishes them almost if they don't come. And maybe you can connect these things to an app where the app reminds these users and kind of repeatedly engages them and tries to get them to come to the gym. So I came up with that idea and I don't quite like it because it's just, too simple, first of all, and second of all, it's just forcing users to go to the gym. So I'm not a huge fan of that idea. I think, there's a lot of ways to motivate people, but I think one thing that I'm really interested in discussing and this particular question is gamification. So thinking about it a little bit more, gymnasiums are basically places where people work out to get fit. And how did people get fit before? Before, they were maybe doing sports or athletics or maybe in the military really, really far time before, or, depending on kind of what you're thinking about. But, a lot of people were in those things like military and sports and that kind of stuff, so they got fit that way. Or maybe they scratched that itch, But nowadays, people don't really have the opportunity to go to, these kinds of sports as much, maybe, or maybe they don't have as much interest in those kinds of things. And now what the easier solution to do is just to go to the gym. It's harder to find a soccer pickup game than it is to just go to the gym and work out. And specifically, there's some ways that they can specifically focus on those muscles that they want to focus on, or those, target some body fat that they want to focus on. So the gym is also more targeted towards getting that body image that they want. So kind of what I'm getting at here is that it seems like gymnasiums have taken the fun out of these previous kind of sports and activities that would have previously made people get fit. And what I would love to do is imbue gymnasiums with that same sense of sporting fun and athleticism and excitement that is already out there. People already do sports for fun. They don't do it because it's a chore. But gymnasiums are a chore for most people. So I would love to kind of figure out how we can imbue gymnasiums with that sense of fun using technology. And so what I'm imagining is, in my product vision here, is a fitness arcade. What I'm talking about here is a basically turning the gymnasium into an arcade with all these games, these fun things. People go to arcades for fun too, but instead of it being using your thumbs and your eyeballs and maybe just the casual DDR every now and then, what if we had an entire gymnasium of DDR-like games where you would engage yourself, you would dance, you would throw, you would play these sports. We can even be socially connected to your own personal stats or other people's stats. And and as a future product, maybe you can even play against other people. What if you had Mario Kart on the treadmill where you put on this headset and you could see people throwing these shells at each other and trying to beat each other in a race? That would be an amazing feature. So, now that we have this vision that I really feel great about this, arcade of the future, this like digital fitness arcade, let's just call it that. So this digital fitness arcade, let's define a few of what those user experiences might look like. I think the key thing to start with would, running is a really common one. And I really like the idea of kind of getting runners to feel like they're part of some kind of game or fun activity. So we can put smartwatches on them that track kind of their pace and how fast they're running. And then maybe on the treadmill display, we could put something that shows them racing against their peers. But that's not enough. That's just kind of a simple game. It'd be great if we could do stuff like you could throw shells at other people, you could change the speed of other people's treadmills and really push them or challenge them. Maybe there are zombies running behind you. Who knows? But that would be a fantastic thing to do for, really motivating people to have fun at the gym. The dream here is to make it so that the gym is so fun that people want to go to the gym. They want to get fit. And we can customize these games to their personal needs. So that was one use case. I think that's fairly clear. I would think about some key components to think about here is making sure that, users are actually willing to give this data to our platform where we're going to be collecting a lot of user data. Another concern that I might have with this product is actually that while it may sound easy to make these games, it might actually be really challenging to create fun games that people actually want to return to come and do. So one thing that we might want to do is partner with kind of a game development company that's been successful. Something like Monument Valley creators, or a larger scale game like Mario. Maybe we can partner with that brand and then really make that a rich, fun experience. The reason I'm thinking about this is because things like Pokemon Go were so successful because they partnered with this loving brand and they knew the game well. They knew how to kind of make that a fun game. And Pokemon Go has done wonders for getting people outside and getting people to do stuff. So I would love to see something like that in the gymnasium, and that kind of reinforces my idea of this digital fitness arcade. Cool. So I've kind of gone through, what users are we thinking about here? We want to target the no-show user. So how do we motivate this user to get to the gym? We've identified that in the past, people maybe use sports to get fit, or they're just generally more fit because of other circumstances. But nowadays, the best way to get fit is to go to the gym. However, the gym is a really kind of depressing, unmotivating place for most people other than those power users. So how do we motivate them to go to the gym? And that's where this digital fitness arcade comes in, where we can really make the gym a fun, exciting experience again. So I am pretty happy with this answer, and I'm open for any questions or feedback. Great, so that was a sample answer. If I had to go through it again, I would say that, I spent a lot of time in the middle kind of stumbling through talking about the history of sports and the military and that kind of stuff. And I probably would have shortened that. It was helpful for me during the time to kind of think through it and to kind of think about things. But then as I was thinking too much, I realized all these kind of complexities to my answer. So what I should have done is just pause a little bit more before I actually delivered the answer. So I had something kind of clear in mind. And I could have written those things down as I did it. The other thing that I would say is, I really did a great job at the end kind of highlighting the excitement and the passion about that digital fitness arcade. So try to bring in some of that same passion into your interview answers. It really shows that you like project management, that you care about doing this as a job. And I think that's a great thing to show to your interviewer. Great. Well, that was a product management question and answer asked by me and answered by me. I hope you enjoyed it.